if you really knew me, you'd know that I was like really, really a shy kid. Like I wouldn't even talk to my family shy. Like only my immediate family and maybe some of my like closest friends growing up. So, and I think the reason for this was that as a kid, I was told that I had a speech impediment. And what I took that to mean was that I must not speak right? So like I made myself wrong about the way I spoke. And like I just told myself at that point that I could never be a public speaker, or I wasn't good at like verbally communicating things. So like I wasn't a good communicator. Like all these things, right, that come to mind about speaking. So like I then made that mean that I had no voice in the world, right? So later in my adult life, I kind of started to like still believe all these thoughts that I told myself about not being a great speaker, and really making that mean like I could never be a great leader either, because how can I inspire people without communicating to them? And now, like, just, hey guys, hey Nick, hey Teresa, I'm so glad people are joining me live today. Maybe this is a good time. But now I'm realizing that that's not true. That, like, I now know this to not be true. And up until very recently, I feel like I found that voice, or really maybe the confidence to share things verbally, you know. So first off, I wanted to like, you know, thank everybody, because I've been making these videos now for like a month or so, and I've been coming on live to share my life and my thoughts, my journey, and almost every day. And that's been at first it was like a huge challenge for me, and now I'm kind of like I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I don't know if you guys are still on live, like tell me if you kind of agree with that, like, because I have groups and I know that people struggle with posting certain things on, like sharing certain things on social media, or even like sharing certain things with like their friends or family. Like we ask people in some of our groups to like, just for accountability, to like put some stuff out into the universe, and like people struggle with that. So like I want to hear from you guys too, like if you guys are feeling the same way. But anyway, thank you guys for being so sweet and appreciative, and I've been getting a lot of positive feedback, so like I really appreciate that, because it's like what's been keeping me going over these past few weeks. But I wanted to talk about that and like maybe add some value here for you guys, because like I can chat about maybe what I think are the, you know, ways to really to kind of get rid of that shyness. So here are my 6 ways that I think has helped me really transition from like to find my voice and to not feel shy anymore in sharing my thoughts and my life. So the first thing is having belief, and this is like, again, the foundation for a lot of things. So we all have like self-limiting beliefs. Like I said, in my case, I had a self-limiting belief that I wasn't a good speaker because I obviously had some problems with that as a child. So like I must have those problems for the rest of my life, right? When the reality of it was that wasn't the case. So it took me to like, you know, somehow go through some sort of transformation around that to figure that out, that was not the case. So by utilizing maybe like personal development or whatever it is, you can find some belief in yourself in certain ways. And again, like I recommend personal development, personal growth, whatever things you can find to help you in that aspect. Number 2 is transforming your mindset to have more of a service-driven mindset. So This was huge for me when I first got involved in the wellness business, because I didn't actually get started with a business, right? Like I got started in doing this because I was just doing it because I liked it. It was a hobby, right? So I wasn't getting paid to do it. I was just like, it was something that I enjoyed, so I helped people do it. So it was very much me just being of service to people. And when I launched a business around it, like, it wasn't until a few years later that I had to be reminded that, yes, like, that's what it was. Like, that's why you can become successful in something you're creating a business around, is when you would do it for free anyway, right? Meaning, like, you want to be of service to people in that area. And when I transformed my mindset about that, like, instead of thinking about what I want to get out of something, like whatever the situation is at hand, think about what you offer to that situation. What can you give to that situation? So, in the case of wellness, like, people used to always ask me a lot of questions because they knew I was really passionate about this. They knew I did a lot of research. They knew I was always into this. So I used to answer a lot of questions. So behind the scenes, I was sort of like the go-to person for a lot of things, especially people like one-on-one will send me messages. And I would always like answer things like that because, again, I was shy, so that made me comfortable. Like, I can do that, but I can't do like anything else. Or if you saw me in person and we chatted about something, like, I was fine doing that, but put me up on a stage or do something else. Like, no, I'm the behind the scenes person. So, and the other thing is that I wanted to say was that, like, I don't really know all the answers to everything. Like, I'm not the smartest person. But what I do know is that I'm resourceful. So sometimes when I don't like have the answer, I can like Google it or I can point people to certain directions that I think are best, and I can make referrals. So it's nice. Like, we don't have to have all the answers. You can just be a good pointer, right? The third thing for me was, to stop thinking about myself. So again, you're thinking about changing the mindset to be about helping people or being of service to people. But the other thing is that I think when we think about ourselves too much, like, especially when we're shy, what do we think? Like, if we walk into a party and there's a lot of people in the room, we're going to think, oh my gosh, everyone's going to look at me, or everybody's going to talk about me, or whatever. It's all about me, me, me. But really, it's not. Like, nobody even will like look twice at you. I think about this when people come out to a group fitness class for the first time. So a lot of people are really nervous about coming out to group X classes. And one, because they're like, oh, I can't work out in front of people. Which is why, like, I help a lot of people at home, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable coming out, right? So what I've noticed is that everybody always thinks that when they go to like a group fitness class that people are going to stare at them. But the reality of that is that nobody is looking at them. Everybody is looking at themselves, right? Or they're so focused in their workout. Like, people aren't even looking at me and I'm at the front, like, people ignore what I'm doing. Like, that's what I've seen in group fitness classes. So you don't have to worry about people looking at you, or it's really not about you. And in this sense, it's about not talking about yourself too. So stop being about yourself and be more of a better listener. Flip the switch by asking other people questions. Make it about them. People want to talk about themselves. So a good way to kind of like feel comfortable walking into certain situations that you're not used to is to just, make it about other people, not about yourself. So it'll take the pressure off of you, right? And make it about something else or someone else. And just be present, right? Just be present. Like, stop thinking too much and worrying about yourself, because then it'll just cause you all this anxiety instead. Number 4 on my list is to just do it. Whatever it is that you fear, just, get out there and start doing it, because you're never going to get better at something, right? You're never going to like get over that fear if you just like always like are concerned about it and worried about it and always talking about it. So sometimes you just got to like do it. And like I said, refer back to steps 1 and 2 are all about mindset and belief, because once you start working on those, it'll help you make this move of just doing it. Like, sometimes you just gotta like jump and build your wings on the way down, and figure it out as you go along. And it's not gonna look pretty, and that's okay, right? And an easy way of doing this is like starting with your strengths. So in my case, I love the fact that like when we do these Facebook Lives, one of the reasons why I like doing the Facebook Lives is because I don't have to be perfect. We're just having a conversation. So I love getting like the feedback. I love when people like have, things to say while I'm live. Plus it also helps me like not forget. Sometimes I have all these thoughts I want to share and I forget about them if I just keep going. But when people will give me some feedback and, will be chit-chatting with me via live, it brings up things that I might not have remembered that I wanted to talk about. Whereas if I'm doing like a full-fledged like video, if I did this on a video, I would probably keep recording this over and over and over, because it would never be perfect enough, right? So again, you can just start with your strengths. Now for some people that might mean maybe you don't feel comfortable in video or something, and maybe you start with like doing something else, like maybe it's a podcast, maybe you're not great in crowds in person, so you want to start doing something on video. So whatever it is, just start somewhere. Start with something that you're already doing. Yup. Just do it. It is true. There's Nick, you're right. There's like never a perfect time for anything. And if you just don't do it, you'll just never know. You'll never know. And about just doing it. So this is my number 5 is practicing. You just practice. You get better at doing whatever it is, the more comfortable and the more confident you get when you're doing it. So you just keep doing it. You're never going to be great at like things just the first time you do something. So the only way to get great is to keep practicing. So, you can just do that by just keep doing it, but then you can also get better by doing other things, like taking seminars that were help. Maybe it's networking. Maybe it's a networking group. Maybe it's a public speaking seminar. What's the one? Toastmasters. Like there's other ones too, but there's a bunch of other things to do. Like for me, I took a course to learn how to do this, because I was like, I don't know how to do this. So just whatever it is, like find ways to improve in that area. My last one, number 6, I think this is like a really important one for pretty much everything in life. It's just be you. Be yourself. The more that you're yourself, the more natural you'll feel, the more comfortable that you'll get with it as you practice. If you're trying to go somewhere and like, let's say you're at a networking event and you're trying to like be somebody else, it's not going to ever make you feel comfortable, right? Which will never make you be able to like get out there and just, have fun with whatever you're doing. And you'll probably be like not be able to do what you want to do effectively, whether that's, talking in public or meeting new people or whatever it is. Because we're not perfect. None of us are perfect. But if you're trying to be someone that you're not, it'll make it like even worse. So don't try to impress people. Just be yourself, be vulnerable, be relatable, be friendly. That way, if you're yourself, you're going to attract the right people that you want into your life anyway, rather than like being somebody else. If you're trying too hard to like fit into a certain mold, and and you attract those people, you'll never be happy with like who you surround yourself with, or who, you know, who's you're bringing into your life, because you're just always going to feel like you're spinning your wheels and something just doesn't fit right. So again, just be yourself. So that's my 6 ways that I think you can overcome shyness with. It's really, they're simple things that I think will help in other areas of life as well. So I hope you guys have found this helpful. Let me know, keep commenting. I want to hear your feedback, and if you think that there's something else that you think I should add to this list. I love your feedback. Honestly, without your feedback, I probably would not have kept on going with these videos. So guys, thank you so much, and I will catch you next time.